Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Andre and I'm your bookworm, and today we are back to Lord of the Mysteries and we are reviewing the episode 5 of the anime adaptation. For the ones that are new here, I am watching and reviewing the Lord of the Mysteries anime adaptation. It's an adaptation from the web novel of the same name, whose author is Cuttlefish That Loves Diving, or the Chinese name that I cannot pronounce, so I won't even try. But anyways, I've reviewed all the other episodes. You can check them out on the thumbnails or cards above. And I guess let's get on with it because it's an episode full of things to talk about. But also, if you want to check the web novel, I've read the first volume. I'm almost done with the second volume. So that will be coming soon. You can check on the thumbnail and cards as well. But yeah, let's get on with the episode itself. So we start the episode with an opera scene, which was a bit like, what the hell is happening? Because I was caught a bit off guard. I didn't know what was happening. The scene itself was confusing because it was intercalated several scenes of the opera with scenes of other stuff happening. So it was a bit confusing. But then soon I realized the purpose of the scene was just to transmit a certain ship travel that happened that resulted in a mutiny where a lot of people died, except a couple of people that survived and reached Backland. No, not Backland. Backland is the city he is now, Klein is now, but Tingen, I don't know if that's how you say it. Either way, which is the city that Klein is in. And Klein foresees that one of these people is going to be returning to the city and is going to be safe, and he tells this to their lover, and that raises Klein's popularity as a seer. I'm not sure how much I like this scene because I think in the web novel was slightly different. It was a bit clearer, but at the same time simpler, and this one was a big entry into the episode, quite spectacular, let's say. I don't think there's anything wrong, it's just different styles, and I actually prefer the web novel style. Later on in the episode, Klein discovers through using his seer capabilities that another person that was on that ship, Triss, was the one that instigated the mutiny in the ship and resulted in the mass murder of a lot of people. Again, I loved the simplicity of the powers in this case when he was just using dream type of divination to realize what had happened, or hypnotizing as well the person he was asking. Those were very simple. They were illustrated still quite well because you could see that Klein was just being transported into that dream, and so he could divine what had happened. I think it's a good combination of showing how diverse his powers can be, but also how useful they can be. Right after this scene, we see Triss, who is being visited by this mysterious woman, and this woman gives him a potion sequence, which is sequence 7, which from the Demoness sect, which will reveal big details later on in the episode. But I'm just going to say, when this happened, I had this small smirk because I knew what they meant, even though the people I was watching with had no idea what was coming. But I'll get to it later. For now, let's continue with the progression of the episode. Once this scene with Triss happens, we go back to Klein and O'Neill, and they are finally going to see the underground market. Yes, the thing that I was questioning the previous episode, wondering if this market was going to show up, considering that so many parts and scenes of this first volume happen in this market, but the previous episode had shown nothing. I was wondering if it will show up or not. Good news, it shows up. It looks beautiful. I mean, it doesn't really make much sense in some aspects because they have to go through this elevator, mechanical, seems almost futuristic, a bit steampunk. And then we have this underground market when the city above is so poor and there's a lot of homeless people. So it was a bit contrasting. I know it's an underground market and it should be hidden, but I think maybe a better way to hide it would have been better. But anyway, it's very minimal, and I think it still creates a cool effect of this underground market where you can buy and sell different items. In this market, we see one character that will have a relevant role later on in the series, so it was good that they included this character. And then we see Klein buying some amulets, and we see Triss being discovered, and a chase scene starts. Again, chase scene was done well. It had a bit of action, a bit of that tension of us seeing if they were going to catch Triss or not, especially if you don't know what happens. You are wondering what will happen if they were going to catch him or not. And it's good as well to see Klein is not involved in the chase directly. He is standing back because Captain Dunn tells him to stay back. No, not Captain Dunn, but someone else. He's not really involved until they need him to find Triss. And that's when he uses the dowsing rod, which again has a bit too much of effects, but anyways, and they go and chase him down until they almost get him, and then suddenly he kind of disappears and no one knows what happened to him. And after this chase scene, a big thing happens, which I really enjoyed, which is a voiceover of Klein saying that once they couldn't find Triss, the different churches and different organizations, then they kind of gave up after a few days. And after this, we see a passing of time, with Klein, for example, being approved as a full employee, he's going to the divination club and still practicing his acting as a seer to digest his potion. And we even see another gathering, just briefly, that things are still progressing and we see the interactions between characters are growing. And then we fast forward a bit more and we see the Nighthawks joining forces with the mandated Punishers and the Machinery Hive Mind, which are the organizations from the other churches, to try and crack a case where a lot of people are dying and they can't really understand how or why. This is also the first time we see Leonard being cheeky but also suspicious and kind of playful with Klein, and this relationship should improve as the episodes go by. I enjoyed that it started. It gives really some mysterious vibes where you don't really know where Leonard is sitting. You don't know if he's good, if he's bad, even though he is part of an organization that should be good, but he does act a bit sus. But anyways, they realize that these things are happening because someone is trying to perform a ritual that needs a lot of people dying pretty much. And eventually Klein uses his powers to divine where that person is, and they go, and this is where another action scene starts. Again, action scene done excellently. I'm not going to go into too much detail because I think these action scenes in all the episodes, they've been really good and they're really enjoyable if you don't know much of what's going to happen. If you know the story, it's all good, but because you can still appreciate the effects of the action. But if you don't know the story, I think you'll appreciate it a lot more if you see it fresh. But one thing that I enjoyed, again, is the fact that Klein stays at the back. He is not really involved in the battle because, again, his powers are not offensive. He is just a support role. He's supposed to do this divination, stay at the back, not be involved, and also not in danger himself. And then eventually, once the action scene ends and Tracy, the girl that was performing the ritual, escapes, there we have our plot twist. And the plot twist is that they realize that everyone that belongs to the Demoness sect, this sect where Triss and Tracy were from, once they drink the potion for sequence 7, which everyone turns into a woman. So if you're a man and you were an instigator and you drink the witch potion, you become a woman. And that's why all the higher ranked tiers of this sect are women. I think this scene was done very well because, one, for the people that have read the web novel, we know how this works, so we know that they are going to reveal it, and we know what happened from the start of the episode, and you can see those Easter eggs and appreciate them very well. And if you're new, you haven't read the web novel, I think this is still a good plot twist, and you're like, oh, actually, I didn't realize this could be possible, and it's just a cool detail, even though it's not super important, but clearly it is important for the future because the episode ends with Tracy running away in a train and still being able to survive. And that is pretty much the end of the episode. I feel like a lot of things happen in this episode, but at the same time, I think it completed a mini arc of the overall arc of Volume 1. And this mini arc was done very well. There were a few things that were different from the web novel, but I don't think they ruined the episode. And besides, we got again that part that I asked for, which was these mini lull scenes where we see Klein just going on his day-to-day basis life to upgrade himself in terms of the potion, but also to see his relation with other people, other characters evolve, and for example, see more gatherings. And this also means we're pretty much getting close to halfway of season 1. Even though it seems like so much has happened already, I know that the volume 1 still has a lot more to happen. There are some big scenes coming up, and at the same time, there's still some seeds to be planted for the episodes towards the end of the season. So I'm guessing episode 6 will have one of these seeds, but let's see. I mean, the episode is by this time it will be out already. I will try to watch it and review it as soon as I can. But meanwhile, while you wait, just comment down below, tell me what you think, and let's keep watching and commenting. So let's go for it. And if you're new, don't forget, subscribe, like the content, and I shall be seeing you on Thursdays and Sundays, okay? See you soon.